I will say that that all of you know our co-chair Sharon Day from Florida, who has made it a cause of her well before she assumed this office to find ways that we can be communicating and reaching out to different segments of the, not just Republicans but non-Republicans, and talk to them in ways that will make them understand our party, our values, and using her experience in business and as a mother and grandmother, talking to them in ways that relate to them at a level that may not always occur. And what Sharon has really taken up the helm on is reminding us all at the party that women aren't a coalition, they don't need to be outreached to, they're the majority of our country, they're the majority of voters, and then we need to stop, especially some of us in the male category, and listen a little bit more to understand some of the issues that are important and the way that they need to be communicated to. So Sharon has put together a panel of very successful women in politics. She has not just gone out and done the training, which has been so important, but I think one of the things that Sharon has really put her finger on is the idea that women, especially in politics, need a mentor. Whether or not that is someone who wants to run for office or someone who just wants to be involved in politics. And so often, women, frankly, are running households, running businesses, that it's just having someone who has been successful in the political arena is helpful to have and be able to share those stories. And so one of the things that Sharon wanted to do at this meeting in particular was highlight 3 very successful women who have done extremely well in politics and in the whole world. So it's not just the running for office or running a campaign, but being involved in the industry as a whole, if you will. And so I'm going to let Sharon take it up from here, but this has been something that I think our party has definitely benefited from in terms of Sharon's passion for this issue and commitment to making it all happen. Without further ado, Sharon Day.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, first, for those of you that are here with us, I want to thank you. Because I'm really sad, to be honest with you, that there's not more people in this room. Because we, again, as women, we are the majority. And as women, there should be more women in this room. Every one of us should be in this room. So that's the first thing I'm going to say, just to make me feel better, that this room should be packed, and it's not. And so I hope that you will share with your fellow committee members when you talk to them about their not being here, and what a great panel and of distinguished, very strong women that they missed the opportunity to share their experiences with. So, with that being said, I want to thank our panel for being here. I'll introduce them in a moment, but I think this is an important conversation that we need to have in our party, and it's about time that we have it in our party. How do we get women involved? How do we get more women to run? How do we make the case that our party, our ideas, our values deserve their vote? I know we've all heard this before, but I really think it's very much worth repeating. In the last election, Governor Romney won among married women by 11 percentage points, but he lost among single women by a whopping 36 points, with single women making up 40% of the female voters. Well, you can do the math. And the president won a woman by 11 points. The bottom line is that we've got to make the case for more women leaders in this party. Whether they're elected, whether they're appointed, whether they're staff on the Hill or in your offices, or whether they're running campaigns. Getting more women into politics means training, means resources, means recruitment, and means mentoring. It means making sure that women are there to help other women as well, and that we help them once they choose to run for elected office with both our encouragement and our tangible support. It means that the co-chair's office is now taking the Blackboard to Blacktop training, which was our victory training, to get women to go out there and run victory offices, not to show up and say they want to work in a victory office, that they wanted to go out there and they wanted to run those victory offices. Well, we've changed the Blackboard to Blacktop training to be, now we're calling it getting ready to run. Getting ready to run is starting across the country, doing training starting next month to help female candidates and potential candidates navigate the complexities of launching their own campaigns. We also launched an initiative last month called Women on the Right Unite. It's a cooperative effort, the first time, a historical cooperative effort that we launched with all our sister committees. And we did that so that we don't duplicate our efforts, so that if they get a strong candidate that they want to go out there and want us to help, that we can help. So for the first time ever, the Republican Congressional Committee, the Republican Senatorial Committee, the Republican Governors Association, and the Republican Leadership Council met together and joined hands and said, we will do what we have to do together as an army to make sure that more women are elected, that more women, that we reach them and get them to run. And when they run, we stand with them to make sure that they win. Our party stands for freedom. It stands for opportunity. It stands for ideas, and it stands for the American dream. And that's why, as Republicans, that we should be the ones to lead the way to make sure that more women are elected to office. We need more women sitting at the table, having their feet under the table, making the important decisions that is important to each of us as Americans across this country. We have 37 Republican women who hold statewide elective executive offices across the country. We want to add more and more and more. So we're here today to talk to 3 professional and unbelievably extraordinary conservative women in our party, to hear their ideas, to hear where we go from there, from where we are today with their suggestions and what they have learned along the way. It is my honor first to introduce Anna Florette. She is from my home state of Florida. She is a strong, very strong woman leader in our party, and she represents Miami in the Florida Senate as a strong conservative voice and an outspoken advocate on education policy. After law school, Governor Jeb Bush hired her as education policy chief before she decided to run for elected office, and I am so glad that she did, and America is glad as well for your input that you have done in our great state. Next we have Myra Miller, and she joins us as a senior vice president from the Winston Group, a premier Washington strategy and communications group. Before this, she was a political director for the Alabama Republican Party and has a master's from the University of Cambridge. And Emily Miller. She's a senior editor for the Washington Times and the author of the upcoming book, Emily Gets Her Gun, But Obama Wants to Take Yours. Emily also has recently won the Clark Bonhoeff Award for Investigative Reporting from the Institute of Political Journalism. Please join me in giving these unbelievable, talented, distinguished women a huge applause. And with that, I'm going to ask each of them to come to the podium and to give their story.